Greetings Spartans, FiOth here, and in this guide I'm gonna be sharing with you my strategy, build and tips involved in clearing the most masochistic and annoyed of all the challenges in Muspelheim. The one that requires you not to get hit, the first impossible, as it's called, challenge, playing on hard difficulty. So without further ado, let's check what's what and we'll go into the details. So, first and foremost, what we need to take care of is the equipment and abilities used in order to complete this. I am showing you an even more optimized version than the one I used when I cleared the challenge. I will be telling you what was included in my original build and approach, but I kinda thought it over a little bit more, so I'm gonna give you the best possible version I can imagine. For Kratos, Fury of the Ice Troll is excellent for crowd control and damage over a wide area. You wanna use that. I used Thamur's Breath of Thamur here when I cleared it, but from my experience this leaves you exposed to ranged attackers, especially during the second phase of the fight, where the little frost hell rivers come out and throw spears at you. So Ivoldi's hammer, on the other hand, is very effective for slowing a large mass of enemies down for a moderate amount of time and doesn't leave you exposed for as long. So Ivoldi's hammer, in my opinion, is a better choice, but you can go with Breath of Thamur if you want and can be sure that you will not be interrupted whilst casting it. For the Blades of Chaos, Nemean Crash is excellent because it deals a massive amount of damage without leaving you exposed for longer. Rampage of the Furies can deal even more damage, but if you are attacked mid-combo and you can't interrupt the enemy fast enough, you will be hit and you will probably lose either your protection from the chest piece or your challenge all over. So use Nemean Crash, since it's very fast, to optimize your damage and chances of not getting interrupted. Meteoric Slam is the one I used, and I highly suggest you get it before you attempt it. It just takes a moment to cast and leaves a fiery mess on the battlefield that will interrupt and heavily damage enemies. It's really the best choice you can have. I will go to grips. Here you see I'm using the forbidden grips of the ages, the hidden secret grip that was discovered by Reddit a few days ago. I will have a video at the end of this one showing how you can get it. It leaves a kind of weak but very utility heavy aftershock at the end of your R1 combo. Here for the blades I'm using the grips of the Valkyrie. When I was attempting this challenge and finally cleared it, I was using protection grip and handles on both my weapons. This gives you a protective barrier when launching an enemy into the air, and for the blades it gives you one when you perform a Rising Fury on an enemy, the one that you hold R2 and launch enemy into the air, the uppercut attack, but it's a moderate perk activation chance here, and in case of the axe it's a high perk activation chance. It's still a chance. You won't be getting it all the time, and it's not like the chest piece we will be talking in a bit that gives you a sustained barrier if you manage not to get hit. Here you get a little barrier for almost 3 seconds, and if it's not utilized during that time it goes to waste and you can't really hope to be getting it consistently. So go with a strong grip, a grip with utility, and if you want to use this one that's very useful, wait until the end of the video to see how you can get it. For Atreus, I was using Storm of the Elks It has good duration, it's very disruptive, it deals mild damage, you can have it fast, like in 65 seconds. My favorite of his abilities is Murder of Crows, but it takes twice as long to recharge and really isn't as disruptive. It deals heavy damage, but then it's gone, and you don't have as good area control as you would have had if you were using the Storm of the Elks. So go with Storm of the Elks. I pretty much 100% suggest it. Now for armor, the most important part, and the one I spoke to briefly about, is the breastplate of the Traveler on Kratos. Now, what it does, it starts to generate a barrier around you after you start the challenge, so don't get annoyed if you get hit at the very beginning and it doesn't protect you, because it takes time to build up. When you start the challenge, everything resets in this game. So it starts to build a barrier. When the barrier is complete, you get an aura for a sec, meaning that you acquired it, and then if you get hit once, the damage is neglected. Whatever damage it is, no matter how heavy, one attack is nullified by the barrier. Especially later on in the challenge, when all hell breaks loose, that's what you want to be wearing. You get hit by a spear from an ice river, from far away, it's nullified. You get splash damage from one of the smaller area attacking enemies, the Draugrs that slam their swords down and their area damage, or maybe a stray hammer attack from one of the heavies, it's neglected and you're safe. Then you have to recharge it, of course, and it will take time, but you will be protected from that one attack. Do not swap this for anything else when you attempt this challenge. Wearing my optimized gear, for my optimized build, I will be level 9.25, but the difference in damage isn't as important as the utility of the piece. Moving on, the charm you should be using is the Charm of Infinite Storms, fully upgraded. I cannot stress how important it is to have this aura activated around you. When you activate it, it will interrupt everything around you, everything will be slowed, the aura is following you, freezing, damaging enemies, and making it impossible for enemies to stagger you. It's amazing if you don't mind the fact that it doesn't have slots on it. I would be using the Gauntlet of the Ages if I didn't need its actual effect, but this one for this challenge is a no-brainer. Use it over everything else and activate it whenever you have it available. It's really a lifesaver in the scenario we're talking about. For Atreus, the best you can be using, since you don't need his healing help, is Legendary Sharpshooter Grab. Makes his recharging of the arrows much faster. Barrage is very useful, and Area Dominance is also very useful if you manage to launch an enemy into the air and just barrage him with Atreus. What I was using was the Legendary Tunic Vestment, because I used it throughout the game. I was playing on hard, I needed a little healing here and there, but in this case, since you won't be getting hit at all, and that's the idea, you will finish the challenge with full health. Runic Attunement, after using a Runic Shaman, arrows will deal initial status damage for 8 seconds, is good, but not as good as having arrows sooner, and having better damage output on your barrage combos. So, this is pretty much the build you will be using for tackling this. I will go back to the gameplay, explain the final phase of the fight to you. That's the most problematic of all, giving you a few tips here and there, and hopefully this will help you get through the challenge. Back to the gameplay, there are really two most problematic phases whilst dealing with the challenge. The first one is when the Frost River is throwing the spears that you appear. You should have your Storm of the Elks available when this happens, so you can interrupt them, stay close to their spawn points and just use Storm of the Elks with Meteoric Slam to deal heavy area damage and be as disruptive as possible. Casting Fury of the Ice Troll at the same time can be a lifesaver, since it will not only damage them immensely and possibly kill some of them, but it will also slow down the whole opposition. When you're down to about 8 enemies, this fucker, the elemental, will spawn. Now range is the name of the game here. You want to keep him as far away as possible, pepper him with arrows, allow the smaller enemies to damage him and get damaged by him in return, and throw your axe whenever you can and when you are sure that you will not be hit upon again. He might retaliate with his laser beam, which you can avoid or block, but really your best bet is just getting out of the way and going slow and carefully. Hope this helps, guys. It's a really annoying challenge. Sub, like and share for more God of War content, making more vids for you every day. Until next time, be well, stay frosty and always strive for perfection. Cheers.